It's Saturday morning, time to talk technology, and that means our tech expert on the expert segment, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, back with us again. Luis, welcome aboard.
Thank you, my friend. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. Can you believe we're just about halfway through the month of June, which means we're pretty much halfway through the year?
Yeah. By the way, I got to tell you a real quick story. A friend of mine who used to live here, he and his wife moved to Utah like 10 years ago, but he was in town recently. Actually, he's a sailing buddy of mine. So we went out on Wednesday. He was part of the races with us. But his wife, afterwards, we went to the yacht club for dinner, and his wife was telling me that to this day, she still listens to us. And she's in Utah, but she listens to a local radio station that carries our segment. So she says, I hear your voice every week. It's like I'm still here.
Well, they must edit those to edit out where I say power talk, because if the station might have a different handle or slogan. That's really interesting. Well, that's really cool. I did not know that we were on in more than the Salinas Monterey market. So
it's funny, but interesting.
Yeah, it sure is. So we're going to talk about AI agents becoming employees. Why don't we govern them like one? But before we get into that, there's so many scams. In fact, on Monday's program, we're going to talk about a new scam, and you're going to talk about that towards the end of this segment. But there are a lot of AI scams out there. I was reading the bulletin from Malwarebytes that it says that real fears amid a reality breakdown. Now, 1 in 10% people have had someone use AI to generate sexually explicit content of them without permission. And this is really something that it's not a thing for boomers, but like Gen Z, people who really are born and raised in the online environment. One Gen Z respondent, a young woman, said that she had someone make fake nudes of her using AI from her photos on her social media and then threatening to post these nude photos on Facebook. And they had scammed her for money, basically extortion, saying, well, you better send us money or we've got these nude pictures of you and we're going to post them on Facebook and embarrass you in front of your friends and your family.
Yeah, it's unfortunately becoming more and more common. That's actually one of the biggest criticisms of Elon Musk's Grok AI. It's other AI chatbots and AI engines have some guardrails installed to prevent some of this from happening, but Grok is apparently the AI of choice for people that are trying to create these digital nudes, these fake nudes, and even videos where they can take a picture of somebody and create a very realistic video of them doing things that they would never have done, but it makes it look like they did it. And they're calling these folks up and saying, hey, if you don't pay us, we are going to release this on the internet and nobody's going to believe it's not you.
And one of the things, with social media that people can do, and it limits your visibility to people, but it's almost to the point now, particularly for young women, that you need to go onto your social media profiles and limit what people can see to only your friends, only the people that you've friended, that you have relationships with. You don't want to have pictures of yourself and your posts and things like that publicly available, because that's how the scammers get your photos and will do these kinds of things. So you really have to lock down your social media presence to only the people that you know and trust.
Absolutely. I mean, that's good advice for everybody, even if you're like us, a little older. You just don't want to invite people to partake in your social media unless you know who they are and you've specifically approved them. And by the way, be careful when you get a friend request, because the other thing that these guys love to do is they'll create a handle that is similar to somebody else that you might know. And you're like, oh, this is my friend. They're asking to friend me on Facebook. Let me say yes. But look at the number. Telltale sign is the number of common connections that you have.
Mutual friends. So and look at their page. If it's only one
or two, chances are it's not really who you think it is.
Right. And the other thing you want to do is you get a friend request, you go to that person's page and see, well, what's their depth of posts? What do they have? If it's something that's like a brand new profile that just turned up and there's maybe 2 or 3 posts on there, that's a red flag. And best thing to do is to block that person. Then the other thing to do is to lock your profile down. So
absolutely. Just make sure you know who you're interacting with.
Let's jump into the story about AI agents becoming employees. So why aren't we governing them like one? I guess issuing W-2s or whatever. But what's the story on this, Luis?
Yeah, so I was at a conference that Microsoft invited me to a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta. And one of the things that they talked about is, we're used to AI chatbots, just like what we were talking about, Grok and ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude. But what we're starting to see more and more of in businesses is AI agents. So these are specific AI entities that can do certain things. Like one of the most popular ones is HR agents. So these are agents, chatbots that you can specifically ask questions about your benefits or your company's policy on bereavement or those sorts of things because it knows everything about your company. And it's augmenting the HR staff, especially in larger companies, so that they're not bogged down by having to ask or answer all these questions. So agents becoming more and more popular, and Microsoft is saying that just like real employees, if you're using agents to carry out specific duties and tasks in your company, that you need to start treating them like coworkers rather than just tools or inanimate objects. And these agents are going to become more and more prevalent in businesses. And we use one ourselves. We have an AI agent that is a tier 1 technician. It helps our clients solve problems quickly if it's something relatively simple that doesn't require a lot of assistance. And we treat it like just any other tech, interacting with it and giving it tasks and assignments. So it's going to become more commonplace for people to be interacting with these agents more and more.
Well, what about regulating artificial intelligence? As far as the workers, do you have any fear that the state of California will bring in work rules that will raise the cost of using one of these AI agents to the point where, because what their goal would be is for you to hire a human to do it. So they would deliberately make it more expensive for you to go in that direction.
Yeah, I think that the state of California is always a leader when it comes to all things tech. So it wouldn't surprise me that they would start looking at this and trying to figure out how agents can be regulated or how you incorporate them into businesses. But even the federal government is looking at legislation to kind of regulate AI, even though they've been resisting it for years, because they now see that AI is becoming more and more integrated into everything in our lives, including businesses. So I suspect we're going to see regulation at both levels.
On this radio station in the Salinas Monterey area, they carry a weekend program called the American Radio Journal. It's a 30-minute public affairs program. Coincidentally, this weekend, the host of the program is going to talk with a fellow by the name of Wayne Cruz. Wayne is with the Competitive Enterprise Institute, and the very topic they are going to discuss is regulating artificial intelligence. So as you are listening to the Power Talk station in Salinas, Monterey this weekend, chances are you're going to end up hearing that program where they discuss the very issue. Should be interesting.
Absolutely. AI is going to be a topic for a long time to come.
Absolutely. All right, Louis, before we go, let's look ahead to Monday and what we have coming up on the program.
Yeah, so if you're a person that's looking for heavy equipment, I want to talk to you about a friend of mine that got scammed and how it can happen to you.
So that's Monday morning, starting at 8:30 here on Power Talk Radio. Louis Alvarez has been our guest. He's CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group. Online, it's alvareztg.com. At AlvarezTG is their X-handle. And Louis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-TEAM. That's 866-784-8326.
Well, thank you, Louis. Have a great weekend, and we'll chat again on Monday.
You too, my friend. Take care.